Hello and welcome to the new episode of Changemakers. We are back today with a new episode and I have the gorgeous and vivacious Naina Mansukhani with me. So Naina, I'm so glad that you've joined me on this chat show and graced this. I'm absolutely excited to have you.
I'm so happy to be here, Neeta. Thank you so much for having me. And it's always a pleasure to hang out with you.
I know you have this bundle of energy which is so infectious, and it affects the people in a very positive way. It's very impactful. So give me a small introduction about yourself. Like, how did this bundle of energy become so joyful and cheerful?
So first of all, like you've mentioned to everyone, my name is Naina, and I actually started my journey by being a lawyer. I used to work for one of the top law firms in India, and then from there I started my passion to become a coach. So I slowly made a transition from being a lawyer to becoming a mind coach, which was really crazy because not a lot of people understood it, but I've always had that drive and that passion to go after things I want, because I feel like my background has been that of sports.
Right.
So I ran for Nike for the longest time. I've paced for them. I've been on their TV commercials and stuff. So for me, like when I know I have an outcome, I'm always driven to achieve it. I've had that from before. So when I decided coaching, even though a lot of people didn't understand it and it was a little scary, I did make that transition, and I couldn't be happier, because if you look at the world right now, you can see that, first of all, you can do what we do. As mind coaches virtually, you can reach out to people, you can travel, and that's the kind of life I always wanted. So that's just a little bit about me.
That's nice and pretty exciting. So did you actually plan this change of career in the initial phases, or was it later on? Like, what drew you towards this career?
Okay, so as you can imagine, law firms can be very stressful, and I was always constantly living in that stress, because my job was not 9 to 5. It was like from 9 to I never know when it's going to end. Right. It was corporate law, and my reason to become a lawyer was again to help people, litigation. But right. I found that process to be a little frustrating, because the verdict takes forever, and I just felt like, what could I do that would be more enjoyable for me? And one of my wake-up calls was when I was admitted in the hospital for hypertension in my law firm. But then I came back and carried on working, because the thought of quitting never even occurred to me, because I was like, I've studied law to get into this firm, a firm like this. Right. So I never ever thought that I could quit and do something else, until my mom said, if this is so stressful for you, work with another law firm. And she said another law firm, but that kind of put a seed that I can get out of here if I don't want to be here. And it was like a great moment of awareness for me.
Right. So what kind of support did you get in terms, from your family or friends? Like, how did they support you with this choice that you took up?
I luckily, by the grace of God, have very, very good support. I have very good family, very good friends. They support me. But when I told them I'm going from becoming a lawyer to being a mind coach, they were just telling me, listen, maybe you need some coaching, chill out, think about what you're doing. It was scary for a lot of them. They're like, is she doing the right thing? But then they supported me. They did. And my mom was like, are you sure you know what you're doing? But guess what? My mom's now a mind coach as well. So
isn't that great? It's all in the family.
It's all in the family now.
Amazing. So once you took this journey and now that you're a certified coach, what kind of changes did you see in yourself in terms of, say, you as a person, in terms of your decision-making skills, your confidence? I mean, how did it affect your relationships and everything, your career choices, everything?
Okay, so that's actually a really good question, Neeta, and I appreciate you asking that, because, when people become coaches, you feel that, you're going to go out and be the one that helps people, which is really true, but it just really changes the way you look at yourself. And it gave me a massive boost in my confidence, because when I realized I can add value to somebody else's life, how can I be somebody that has less value and makes me valuable? And it every day I got, more and more sure about myself. And before this, like, I could never make strong decisions. Like, I'd made 2 or 3 decisions in my life and I went for them. One of them was, being an athlete. I went for that. One of them was going to college I really wanted to go to. And one of them was my law firm. So I can just think that I'd made 3 major decisions. And then becoming a coach, and everything that happened after that were decisions that I feel gave me the confidence to make more decisions by myself. I mean, you will not believe this. Before I became a coach, if I wanted to choose between two things like a red outfit or a yellow outfit, it would take me so long and at least 15 opinions before I made up my mind. And I feel like that happens when you are not sure of who you are.
Absolutely.
Or you want to maybe at some level not take ownership of your decision, because if it was a bad one, you can blame somebody. Absolutely. So all of that I feel has really changed over time, and now I'm very quick at decisions and I feel very confident. And I say, like, even if it's a mistake, it'll be my mistake, I'll learn from it. But the worst is the agony of indecision, when you're just sitting in the fence, not moving forward. That's the worst.
Right.
So it made a lot of differences between me and myself.
That's such a beautiful story that you've shared. I hope everyone relates to it and takes that decision, to move ahead. Amazing.
Wherever it might be.
Right. So now that you have completed your mind coaching, you're going out there and helping people, right? Why do you think, what stops people, or why do people kind of hesitate in the first place to come to a mind coach or accept that they need a mind coach, or any coach for that matter?
So I feel right now, the way I've seen it, people are much more receptive towards coming to a coach rather than not, because I'll tell you how this is different from going to a therapist or a psychiatrist or a counselor or something, is that we're not giving people medication, or we're not giving people any advice. Right. And coaching is not for somebody who's, just going through a really tough time in their life. Like, it's for people that are having also really good lives, but they want to make it better. It's always so progressive. So I feel like, on the contrary, I've seen people are so much more receptive now, because people have understood the value of mental health so much more now. Since the lockdown and people were isolated, the world really made a crazy transition. And I've seen, in terms of numbers of the clients I've coached, it's just become more and more over the years. And it's not just from experience, it's also awareness from people, even in India and all over the world. Like for example, the United States, United Kingdom, they were kind of aware of it anyway. Right. And they do invest a lot in their personal growth. But I see that in India a lot now. Like, I have so many clients from India, and they're all looking to become better versions of themselves, and they understand coaching so much more now. But I think the only thing that would stop somebody from going to a coach would be lack of awareness that they could use one, and that awareness that it's great for you. It's like an investment. Like, instead of going out to a meal or coffee, imagine if I, invested money and time in getting a better understanding of who I am as a person, what drives me, how can I make my life go even better? I mean, that would make such a huge difference to somebody.
Right, absolutely. And even when you share it, you're sharing with so much of passion. I mean, I can feel that energy.
Anita, I just feel like, I know this is not a question you asked me, but I'll just take you for an example. I remember your journey when you initially started to be a coach. You were so fired up and you are so passionate about what you're doing that I know initially it wasn't an easy journey for you to become a coach, but you spent a huge amount of money and time and a lot of energy in doing it the right way. I do believe there's a right way to coach people. That's why I came to this interview, because I really admire you. I really think that you are an absolute inspiration, because you started from a place where you had no resources. You did not. You were like, oh, how am I going to pay for this? And this is to become a coach, which is not as expensive as receiving coaching, but you really, really went out of your way to make this happen. And this is another thing I love about this profession, is because I get to meet people like you. You're so resilient and so passionate. And that's why I tell people, like, if you're getting coached by Nita, you're really lucky, because she knows how to, go after what she gets. Whether there are challenges, whether there are obstacles, you found a way to overcome them. And if I was getting coached, I want to receive coaching from somebody like that. You've walked the walk.
Oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed, with all this that you spoke about me. But I would actually here like to give the credit for you, because if it wasn't for you to have that kind of self-belief, which I actually didn't have in my own self at that point of time, if it wasn't for you to give me that push, that just take this leap of faith and do this, I mean, in fact, at that point of time, we didn't know each other that well. So it was like a completely new thing. It was like deep dive in the ocean for me.
I remember speaking to your mom, and then look at
Yes.
you. The whole credit goes to you because you decided, you took action. You're now an author, which is so cool. You've got clients that you're coaching from all over the country and all over the world. And I mean, just look at you. And it's such and I'm so glad I got to see it from the start to what it is right now. And this is what coaching does for someone, because before you became a coach, you received coaching yourself and you can see the results. And I really wanted to express that because, I've seen this with so many people. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do, not confident enough, don't feel good enough, don't feel smart enough, my relationships, this, that. And then you see this transition and you feel like, wow, it's so cool.
I think I should tell everyone else as well, that this is my fabulous coach who took the initiative and brought this Neeta in front of me, who is so confident and interviewing my own coach. So, oh my God, this is for you.
Right back to you.
Great. So there's one great thing about our profession, that it allows us to live the life of our dreams. So coming to that, I see your beautiful Instagram posts, you work from the sea, you work from the airport, cafes and everywhere around the world. So, when you were a lawyer and now that you're a coach, how close do you think are you living to the life of your dreams, and how does it make you feel?
Oh my God. So one of my core values is freedom,
Yes.
family and freedom. And I feel like that was being a little bit sabotaged in my law firm. As you can imagine, I can't pick up my suitcase and travel. I love travel. I don't know how many people listening to this call love traveling, but I feel like, you know what? Just have me a billion passports full of stamps. That's the ideal life, going to all these beautiful places. And
Yes.
I was, as soon as I became a coach and things went virtual, like especially with COVID, I was afraid that, how am I going to coach people? But then we digitalized coaching. Like you can reach out to so many more people now over Zoom.
Right.
And make an amazing effective impact. So that now allows me, because I have a system and a structure in terms of how am I going to coach people on their first, second, third session, it's so beautifully planned out for me that I could go anywhere in the world and continue coaching. So even in COVID, which I know most people were stuck with travel, I got to travel to, like, just in COVID alone, I went to Egypt, I went to Kenya, I went to where did I go? Maldives, I went UAE. Where else? I went to so many places did I mention Egypt?
Egypt, I remember.
Qatar. And I feel that even when the world was kind of slowed down, I feel so grateful that I got the opportunity to travel to all these beautiful places and conduct my coaching from anywhere. Like in Maldives, I was doing it from like this beautiful water villa overlooking the ocean. In Kenya, I did it in a safari in Masai Mara where there was like a lion in front of me.
Yes.
It was crazy. In Egypt, I've got like the pyramids in my background in one of my Zoom calls. It was like the life, it's better than I expected, because now I can, and I never get tired of doing my calls, because first of all, what a blessed profession that you get to help somebody make their life better and then you get paid for that. So it's just like the best thing for me. And then of course, money is just the byproduct of it. So and I will tell this to people because they always tell me, like, how does it pay? When you make law firm was like a consistent income. Yes, it was a consistent income every single month. But as a coach, the more I work, the more I get paid. So that means there's no limitation. So there are so many months that I've earned more as a coach in a month than I did in a year as a lawyer, and people find that bizarre. But I'll just tell you guys to do the maths. If I'm charging $697 per client or 40,000 rupees per client for like a 10-week coaching program, and I'm coaching, like, let's say 2 batches of 5 people, even like worst case in 2 months, let's say 10 people in 2 months, I'm still earning what most people would in a month.
Absolutely.
And
I agree.
And I'm just thinking, like, and now my capacity of doing calls over Zoom has also increased, and that goes to talk about the confidence you referred to in the start, because in the beginning, I was camera shy. I could never imagine doing webinars or Zoom calls. Didn't think of it.
That reminds me, I have heard your first podcast.
God.
And that was hilarious. And so was mine. Oh my God, I sounded like a robot.
Yeah, my first podcast, I got lucky because it was an interview with my sister, who, by the way, is also a mind coach and an actor, and she's authored a book. So it was nice to interview her because I thought she has some really good insights. But yes, as you can see, there's been evolution.
We are learning and growing together. Wow. So this has been absolutely wonderful. So what we'll do is we will end this session with some quick rapid fire questions. Okay. You ready for it? I'll need to look at my computer for this. So, all right, the first one. No time. What's your favorite food?
Lebanese.
What word do you hate hearing the most?
Can't do it. It's not a word. It's like, I can't do it.
Right. What's your favorite dessert?
Tiramisu.
Okay. So is it work or play?
Both. My work is play. I feel so good about that.
Anyone who will check the Instagram would know that. I know it.
Yeah, I look like a travel blogger now more than a coach.
So, cats or dogs?
Both.
Oh, that's sweet.
Both. I like pets.
Money or happiness?
Happiness. When you're happy, you get money. I feel that.
Absolutely. Are you more of a thinker or a doer?
That's hard. Both.
I got my coach there. Yes.
Sometimes I do and I don't think. It's crazy.
Just like you fell in the pool the other day with the hat.
That was funny. But both, sometimes I do without thinking, sometimes I think without do. The outcome of it all is being happy.
No, I couldn't agree more on that. What was your last impulse buy?
I don't even want to say it.
No, you share it so that people know it's fun.
Okay, I'm not going to talk about something, a thing which was a very damaging impulse buy, but I can talk about something that was an impulse buy, but it was a very good thing. My stay at the Giraffe Manor. It was not cheap. It was extremely expensive, and it was like a bucket list thing. I had to do it.
Nice.
So that one night in the Giraffe Manor it would have been like my 2 months salary in a law firm.
But you had fun. The giraffe had breakfast with you. He was always observing you.
I could not believe it was real. It was like a dream. So again, when you say money or happiness, I prove with this it's happiness, but I also would encourage people to not be a foolish spender. Like, you always want to like live within your capacity, but also be able to remember that your life is going to be a build-up of experiences at the end.
Right. Okay, the last one. So what trait most defines who you are? Which trait?
I would say high energy. That would define me, because I feel very excited about things I do. I feel very passionate about things I do, and also a lot of transparency would be another thing. Like, if I don't like something, I would just not do it, and if I like something, I will, even if it made no sense to anyone, I'll go and do it. So I would say being very energetic, passionate, and transparent. I would say that trait would define me.
Amazing. It's been great, and absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Do you have any parting wise words for the viewers who will watch this?
Yes, I do. I would say, I'll leave it with this, is that you are your greatest asset. So invest in your growth, whether it's, a coach or reading a book or taking yourself out on a holiday, but do something nice for you, because you really matter. And, you can't take care of anybody else when you're not taking care of you. So do that. And then if you're looking for an amazing coach, you have Neeta here. You should definitely get in touch with her. And I know you will not be disappointed. If you are like at a level, let's say 5, you can go to a level 10. And it's all about the pursuit of growing. So do that for yourselves, because you're really important.
Thank you so much. That's words of encouragement for me. And Thank you for giving me your time. I know you have a lot of things and you've squeezed in your time for me. So I truly appreciate your presence on this. And thank you for sharing wonderful insights with all of us.
Thank you so much, Neeta. This was an absolute pleasure as always, and lots of good luck to you.
Thank you. Remember, the Changemaker comes every Tuesday. Catch it on my YouTube channel. Bye.
Bye.